Oh, crap, I got a paper cut. I better go to the doctor for this one. So, I was making some origami, and I got a paper cut.
Here, take some Vicodin, just like whenever you need it, even if you feel just a little bit of pain, just take all of it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, for sure. There are no side effects, it's completely safe.
But it's not even that bad.
It's okay, it just works for everything, just take it.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Oh no, it looks like I ran out of Vicodin. I guess I'll have to switch to some cheaper alternative now then. Like heroin.
Recently, the opioid epidemic has gained greater attention as the number of ODs has risen. In 2017, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services declared a public health emergency and announced a 5-point plan to combat it. 1. Improving access to treatment and recovery services. 2. Promoting use of overdose reversing drugs. 3. Strengthening our understanding of the epidemic through better public health surveillance. 4. Providing a cutting edge for research on pain and addiction. And 5. Advancing better practices for pain management. Consequences of the opioid crisis have included increases in opioid misuse and related overdoses, as well as rising incidence of newborns experience withdrawal symptoms due to opioid use and misuse during pregnancy.
Drugs.
Oh my gosh, did you just say your first word? Wow. Do you want one? Here. It's good stuff.
Opioids are drugs that act on the nervous system to relieve pain. Opioids work by stimulating a huge influx of dopamine from the end of the axon of the presynaptic neuron into the synaptic terminal, which then stimulates the postsynaptic neuron. Opiates, a type of opioid, are derived from the poppy plant. This includes synthetic opioids such as heroin and fentanyl, and pain relievers available legally by prescription such as OxyContin, Vicodin, codeine, morphine, and many others. Opioids are very effective at controlling pain, and they can also produce a high. Besides a high, other side effects include drowsiness, lethargy, paranoia, respiratory depression, and nausea. Long-term effects can include liver damage, brain damage, tolerance, and addiction. It is extremely easy to become addicted to opioids, making them even more dangerous.
The earliest reference to opium use is in 3400 BC, when the opium poppy was cultivated in Lower Mesopotamia.
The conservative viewpoint, Oh my!
Throughout history, opium has been used to relieve pain or for other uses. During the 1800s, morphine was widely used to treat pain and used during surgery, its first and true medical use. In 1898, the Bayer Co. started production of another opioid, heroin, on a commercial scale. From its first clinical trials, it was considered a wonder drug, and its use spread as addicts discovered its effect could be amplified by injecting it.
Heroin, the new wonder drug.
Yay!
In the early 1900s, there wasn't much known. Drugs like heroin were used as cough suppressants. In the 1920s, doctors realized the highly addictive nature of opioids and tried to avoid prescribing them. Heroin became illegal in 1924. In the 70s, the Controlled Substance Act was passed and consolidated all regulated prescription opioid and narcotic drugs into 5 separate schedules. Schedule 1 is for the most dangerous drugs that can't be prescribed anymore. The Drug Enforcement Agency was created in 1973 when President Nixon declared the war on drugs, noting that America has the largest number of drug and heroin addicts of any nation in the world.
I, President Nixon, declare a war on drugs. America has the highest number of morphine or heroin addicts in the world, including myself. Drug abuse is public enemy number 1. My name is Nancy Reagan, and my husband Ronnie vows to crack down on drug addicts and reinitiate the war on drugs, cracking down on drug addicts. And I'm telling all you youngins out there, just say no to drugs.
In the late 1990s, pharmaceutical companies reassured the medical community that patients would not become addicted to opioid pain relievers, and healthcare providers began to prescribing them at greater rates.
I think very serious adverse reactions are about as infrequent as one could possibly expect given the enormous amount of exposure to drugs.
Hello, ma'am. Would you like to answer some questions today about opioid usage in America?
Sure.
So, do you know anything about the opioid crisis in America?
Yeah, I know that all opioids are so bad. Like, everybody who ingests any ounce of opioid should go straight to the electric chair. We should bring back the guillotine, like back to the French Revolution. Like, it's so bad. Like, everybody should just die.
So you're saying that you would rather favor jailing people that deal drugs or take drugs rather than sending them to rehab?
Yeah, for sure. They should be incarcerated or just killed. Like, yeah.
And can I ask you, what is your political affiliation?
I'm a extreme conservatist. I have some white supremacist views. I'm also affiliated with the neo-Nazi party. Yeah, so pretty great.
Hi, we just have some quick questions for you if you don't mind.
Sure.
So what do you know about opioids?
Well, they're bad, but some opioids are good, like marijuana.
Marijuana?
Yes, marijuana.
Okay,
Under what conditions do you think opioids are necessary for legal use?
I mean, if they're good opioids like, marijuana, we can use it anytime we want.
Sir, are you aware that marijuana is not an opioid?
It isn't?
I think the punishment should be for those found in possession of illegal opioids.
Well, rehab, of course. Just send them to rehab and get them into working condition to make them a part of the society.
Okay. What do you think some advantages are for rehab over incarceration?
Well, number one, it's much cheaper. For example, rehab costs $4,000 per year for one person, while incarceration is $20,000 per year per person. Also, some long-term benefits is that the people become functioning members of society again. Unlike those who come out of jail, well, they just go back to taking drugs because they don't have anything else to do.
And can I ask what your political views are?
I'm a liberal. We have the same view as the liberal side, excluding the marijuana part. Rehab is more cost effective and allows people to become functioning members of society, decreasing crime and drug abuse. If we really want to solve this epidemic, we need to empower people to be rehabilitated instead of throwing them in jail, which would only solve the problem in the short term and make the problem worse in the long term.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed.
That's not how you Wow, this definitely looks like drugs to me.
It's actually some hydrochloric acid with MSM, extra strength.
Whatever that means.
I don't even know.
Optimum joint health and mobility.
Yes.
Help support cartilage.
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
Okay, you just say like. Oh.
I like drugs.
Hey, Anthony, what's your favorite way to get high?
Gotta hit that jewel.
Wow. Any other drugs of choice?
Methods of choice.
Jason uses a syringe.
What?
That's all I know.
Okay. Do you have any last words regarding the subject of opioids?
Don't do opioids, kids. Unless you're Sujan, then you can do them all you want.
Just try to get on the tree again.
My socks have no grip.
Then just go get your shoes.
Take two. No pressure, Jason.
I have no upper body strength.
Fine, okay, we can do somewhere else.